Fallout 4 allows you to make more choices than you think. From circumventing entire chapters of the main questline, role-playing as the Silver Shroud long beyond its initial quest, and just generally being rewarded for thinking outside the box. So, here's 10 hidden choices you probably didn't know you had in Fallout 4. Let's get to it. First up, the moment we leave Vault 111, we'll go through some fairly standard initial motions. Wander the ruins of Sanctuary, reunite with Codsworth, meet Dogmeat at Red Rocket, the Minutemen at Concord, etc. But did you know it's actually possible to skip all of that? By making a beeline directly into the ruins of Boston Common to be specific, we can head straight into Park Street Station where the Triggermen are, leading us down to Vault 114. And even though we haven't been to Diamond City yet, unlocking the quest, sending us here to find Nick Valentine, Nick will still be locked in the Overseer's office of this vault all the same. So, from the sole survivor's perspective, we have just stumbled out of a vault after 210 years, wandered into the ruins of our old city, and happened immediately upon the detective we needed. And helping Nick escape from the vault, we can also say as much, just in fewer words.
How do you know to find me down in that old vault?
Honestly, I was just there at the right time. Seemed like you needed help.
I appreciate it. But a good Samaritan in these parts is liable to end up on the wrong side of a loaded gun. I should know.
We can also just play it coy, triggering what I always hear as a Lord of the Rings meme.
That's not important.
All right, wise guy, keep your secrets.
Nick can then personally escort us to Diamond City where the gate will already be open, and Piper will now be mid-argument with Mayor McDonough, an argument that we can now walk straight past, entering Diamond City immediately. We'll then quickly get on to looting Kellogg's house, where we find the San Francisco Sunlight cigars. Usually we'd then hand these over to Dogmeat, who can track their scent, but remember, we've skipped meeting Dogmeat entirely. In fact, in this timeline it's been pretty much an hour since we emerged from the vault. Luckily, it seems Dogmeat is a little more famous in these parts than we give him credit for though, and Nick actually already knows him.
I need to call someone in. A specialist.
I don't know about this, Nick.
Now, let's give my pal a chance. I'll send out the signal. Now, you won't hear anything. It's a special frequency. But he'll be here. Okay, I called him.
Comment below if you actually did hear the high-pitched screech there. A screech that Dogmeat, who presumably is still at Red Rocket, hears and immediately comes running.
There he is. Prompt as always. Ready to get to work, Dogmeat?
This isn't funny, Nick. How's a dog supposed to help us?
Your faith in me is really starting to become inspiring.
Dismissive dialogue option aside here, it is touching to hear the way Nick Valentine talks about Dogmeat as a genuine friend, and whilst playing the start of the game this way does skip several beats, it does offer some cool insight that we'd never otherwise get. Next up, the General Atomics Galleria was a pre-war site designed to be run entirely by Mr. Handy's, and after 200 years, the robots are, to be fair, still diligently doing their jobs. You can order a coffee from a cafe that's been leaking gas for 50 years.
Is there a gas leak in here?
Yes.
Eat at a diner, where serving you is their code.
Wait, what?
At Handy Eats, serving you is our code.
Get the marketing pitch that'll inspire you to bring a Mr. Handy home again.
And our models are legendary for their reliability and durability.
Or do some light shopping.
Are you a customer? Now you listen here. Every single item in this store is exactly where it belongs. Exactly. Ah, you ruined it.
After all that's done though, we can head into the central bowling alley for a quick game.
Here to bowl? Just $5,000 a game.
Now, this could mean one of two things. Either the people who designed this only expected billionaires to come to this alley, or they perhaps more interestingly programmed these robots to adjust for inflation over time. Now, if we assume that to be true, then we can maybe figure out what a game probably cost in 2077. If we approximate the average yearly inflation rate of the last real-life 100 years, it comes out, from a quick Google search, at about 3.29% annually. Going with that as our in-universe assumption for inflation also, we know that 210 years have passed since the bombs dropped. Fallout 4 is set in 2287. That means that $7 in 2077 would be worth just about $5,000 in 210 years. Now that's the exact kind of forward planning that a genius like Mr. House would implement. It's also just an incredible lesson in the power of compound interest. Of course, the bombs did drop, and pre-war money was replaced with bottle caps, making it just as, if not more scarce than it was 210 years ago. However, if when you come here you have played very diligently and picked up every note you found, we can actually pay for a bowling game.
I can't believe I'm actually doing this. Alright, here.
Very well. Feel free to pick any open lane. They aren't working at the moment, but as soon as a service technician shows up, I'll have him start with your lane first.
Hold on, so the alleys aren't working, and yet you knowingly took my money? Yeah, you can kind of play this $5,000 game of bowling, but not really. So, what I find far more fun to do with this is not pay, and have several Mr. Handies violently attempt to restrain me as I aggressively attempt to play a free but dysfunctional game of bowling. So head over to the Galleria if that pre-war money is burning a hole in your pocket, and don't worry, we can always pickpocket or loot it all back again. You may also have to do this scenario for a special Brotherhood redundancy quest where you need to find a replacement for Dr. Lee, but if you want to know more about that, then check out my 6 secret quests everyone misses in Fallout 4 video. The final fight of the Automatron DLC involves fighting through one of the largest dungeons in the entire game. The Mechanist's lair is a sprawling pre-war robotics factory comprised of many departments and tons of custom-made deadly robots, all culminating in a massive, potentially extremely tough final battle at the foot of the Mechanist's control room. But what if I told you that there was a way to avoid this fight entirely? Granted, we'll still need to fight through most of the rest of the Mechanist's lair, but this alternative option does make the sole survivor seem far cleverer. When first entering the Mechanist's lair, around where these laser archways are, you'll want to head into this room on the left. There'll be 3 terminals in here, including one for elevator access. Now, first up, it is a master level terminal, so you're either going to need that perk, or you could try bringing Nick Valentine down here, though that is going to require some back and forth, what with also needing a robot companion to open the doors. Once this is hacked though, one way or another, the terminal will say access to the control center is prohibited during an active security alert, a protocol that can only be overwritten with voice authorization from 3 different department chiefs. Luckily, down in this lair are 3 audio holotapes left over from before the war. All we need to do is venture further into the lair to get them and bring them back here, loading each either into this terminal or just playing them on the Pip-Boy when we're nearby. The first of these could be found fairly early on when we head inside a room labeled Quality Control. Laying next to a terminal on the desk right inside is the lead engineer's holotape. A fair ways further in will be a room full of junk, mechanical arms, and a small train track. This is the facilities sector, and at the end of it, we'll go up some stairs to facilities management. Again, the holotape, this time belonging to the facilities director, is right next to a terminal behind an ammo box. After that, we'll descend into the research wing, through a corridor of prison cells, descending down a small elevator into the robo-brain area. Go through some decontamination arches, and on your right will be a room called Brain Management, containing the final holotape of the chief scientist tucked away on a shelf down here. With all 3, all we then have to do is proceed back the way we came to the entrance and play these 3 holotapes again at this terminal. It doesn't have to be the whole thing, just a brief second or 2 to register the voice prints. With that done, elevator access will be restored, and we can confuse the hell out of the Mechanist.
Impossible! I control all points of access to this room.
At this point, the conversation proceeds much as it would at the end of the final fight, except it doesn't necessarily have to. There are indeed still multiple outcomes to be had here. If you really want to have some fun with this Mechanist confrontation, then another thing you can do is speak to her in the Silver Shroud costume, turning this whole thing into an adaptation of a Silver Shroud episode. The original Mechanist was indeed also a character from pre-war times and a nemesis of the Silver Shroud. I guess the way to foil a fictional supervillain is to also take up the role of a fictional vigilante, and who better to find a way to bypass the Mechanist security systems than the Silver Shroud.
Unmask yourself, Mechanist, and stand ready for judgment.
You're You're right. I'm no match for the Silver Shroud.
Not only can we convince the Mechanist to take off her helmet this way, but we can then proceed to talk our way successfully through this entire situation in pretty much nothing but Silver Shroud dialogue. And you've got to admire the Soul Survivor's commitment to the bit here.
Again, you cast me as the villain? Oh, but it is you with your rampaging robots. The blood of innocence was spilled. Your own lackey confessed. Her twisted logic leading to tragedy.
Saving by killing? No, it's the logic. It's there. I can see it now.
So, the veil is lifted and the truth revealed. Your technological hubris is to blame.
I accept full responsibility. I can't take back what I've done, or even atone for it. But this doesn't have to end in violence.
Finally, we can decide whether we are to become a vengeful Shroud or a forgiving one.
Though your action initially appeared felonious, your intent was not. Seek redemption, Mechanist. You have much to atone for. There is but one sentence for evildoers. Death has come for you, Mechanist. And I am its Shroud.
Damn it. I should have known that was coming.
I mean, the world ended 200 years ago, so if a man wants to march around pretending to be a fictional character, why the hell not? Honestly, I just wish there were more interactions like this. I wish we could play the whole game like this. But there is at least one more. Over in Nuka World, the area of Dryrock Gulch already encourages you to play along in a Western-themed world designed for kids. But, rocking up in full Silver Shroud gear, we can take these interactions to a whole new level of roleplay. Now, this can sometimes glitch out initially and you don't get the dialogue options, but unequipping and re-equipping the Shroud suit should fix that.
Sheriff, your town is under threat from the Bloodworm menace. But fear not, for I am the Silver Shroud!
Well, now we got ourselves a genuine celebrity.
I love how all the robots also acknowledge this role we're playing. They definitely think they're talking to an imaginative kid though, not, you know, a potentially psychopathic soul survivor being chaotic for their own amusement.
Dastardly villains taken root in the mine, you say? They shall face my terrible justice!
With that though, we can waltz into the town even more of a hero than usual, resolving everything in full character as the Silver Shroud.
Horses gone missing? The Silver Shroud shall ensure this is not part of some more diabolical plot.
Thank you, Shroud.
No target escapes the sights of the Silver Shroud. I'll win your contest, One-Eyed Ike.
Well,
I mean, with the Mechanist, doing this actually did serve a purpose. We were tapping into Isabel's way of seeing the world. Here, we've simply come to a theme park, dressed as a superhero, there's nobody else around, and we are fully committed to the role.
A trivial errand for the Shroud. But no civilian is going thirsty on my watch. I cannot lie to you, noble bartender. Prospector Owen, Miss Trixie, and Handy Hank are all dead. Killed by some unknown assailant years ago.
I didn't realize all three of them were fans of the Silver Shroud. Learn something new every day.
This DLC really leans into the silly side of Fallout, and I love that about it. I did also wonder if this would be possible for the murder mystery in Far Harbor, but heading to Vault 118 as the Shroud didn't seem to trigger anything new. Though getting the dialogue working can be a little temperamental, but if anyone has ever got any Silver Shroud dialogue from that quest, then do comment it below. Or for that matter, any further dialogue across the rest of the game. I think this is it, but you never know.
I thank you for your aid, Sheriff. Your town is safe for now, but the Silver Shroud will be watching over you.
It's been an honor having the Silver Shroud as my own deputy.
Yeah, definitely thinks we're a kid. The Diamond City quest in Sheep's Clothing won't start until very late into the game and under a few conditions. To get it, we'll have to complete the Nuclear Option quest in which we destroy the Institute, and also possibly political leanings beforehand where we learn that Mayor McDonough is a synth. For me, it simply started as soon as I returned to Diamond City after the Nuclear Option. When the gate guard, Danny Sullivan, catches the mayor with a synth, McDonough finally snaps, and with the Institute now destroyed, is prepared to violently make his way out of the city, shooting Danny twice in the gut before taking Geneva hostage. Danny flees and falls from the elevator, and when we enter the city, he can be found bleeding out down here.
You can stop standing around. Someone get a doctor.
Yeah. The obvious and basic thing to do here is just give Danny a stim pack. I think most of us should have them in relative abundance at this point in the game, quickly fixing Danny up before proceeding to the mayor's office. But some more outside-the-box options are available. We can, for one, do exactly what Pastor Clement suggests and go get a doctor.
Doctor, come quick. Danny Sullivan's been shot.
What? Someone's injured? I'll be right there. Hold on, Danny. Let's get you patched up.
Thanks, Doc.
Kinda crazy actually, just how the rest of Diamond City seems oblivious to a man bleeding out on the floor and nobody else thought to run for a doctor. They don't even have the excuse that they're too busy filming it. Alternatively, if Curie is our current companion, she can fulfill the role of a doctor.
I will administer first aid and trauma stabilizer.
But there is also this needlessly morbid option with Curie.
Just let go. It'll all be over soon.
But we could save him.
We should have done something about McDonough. Ain't like we weren't warned. Just didn't want to admit it.
I mean, Curie questions our judgment here, but then does absolutely nothing about it. We just assume there's literally nothing we can do, whilst she knows there is, and just stands there. I don't know which is worse, needlessly defeatist sole survivor, or his companions that don't do literally anything unless they're told. Funny as this option is though, in a very silly way, it's worth keeping Danny alive, as visiting him at the gate later, he'll reward us with 100 caps for saving his life. With that 100 caps, plus another 10, head to the South Boston Police Precinct to speak to a reliable businessman about a finance opportunity. Parker Quinn can be found just down this alley to the right of the precinct's door, and he has found a solution to a problem that we as players don't really have.
A bunch of losers blow up the world 200 years ago, and we have to lug around piles of bottle caps? Are you friggin' kidding me? So that's why I've been working with every single shop in the Commonwealth to get rid of caps. Introducing the only form of currency you'll ever need, the charge card. It's super simple. You give me 110 caps right now, and I give you this charge card. Accepted at any store in the Commonwealth, up to 100 caps. The 10 extra caps is my service fee. So what do you say? Want one?
Well, it would be significantly more convenient, and he did say he'd worked with every shop in the Commonwealth, so yeah, go on then. What's the worst that can happen? Now, buying the charge card is worth it, if purely to see the reactions of vendors when we actually try to use the thing. It's basically like trying to pay with Amex at an independent store.
Can I use this charge card here?
Is this something synths used to pay for things? We don't take filthy synth money here.
Can I pay with my charge card?
You're kidding, right? Caps only, friend.
You take this charge card?
Trying to pull a fast one on me? No. Caps only.
Can I put this on my charge card?
Hey, I know money's kind of an imaginary thing anyway, but that card is like way more imaginary than I'm comfortable with.
But Parker Quinn said he'd worked with every shop in the Commonwealth. We haven't surely been scammed, right? There's got to be someone in Diamond City who takes this thing.
Do you take this charge card?
Caps only, I'm afraid.
Can I pay with this charge card?
No.
Do you take this charge card?
A charge card? I'm sorry, but I'm programmed to only accept what you humans call caps.
Yeah, this is starting to feel like a scam.
Do you take this charge card?
What now? Oh no way! Parker Quinn got another one. I can't believe it. That old shark. Listen, ain't no one from here to the Quincy Bay gonna accept that useless hunk of plastic. You're better off tossing it.
God damn it. I mean, I hear you, kid, but maybe the residents of Good Neighbor will be a little more open-minded. What do you say, Cleo?
I bought this charge card. Do you take it?
While I appreciate the novelty of crushing someone under the burden of financial debt, we only accept caps here. If you were to trade for this, I suppose I could give you half a bullet, or perhaps an incredibly sharp toothpick.
Okay, so that's a no. Perhaps a ghoul, though, is old enough to remember credit cards.
Do you accept this charge card?
A charge card? Whoa, I haven't seen one of these since before the war. Sorry, honey, but this thing hasn't been good for about 200 odd years. If you're trading, I might be able to give you a couple of caps for it, but it's barely worth the plastic it's printed on.
Well, I guess that's that then. Parker Quinn has well and truly done a number on us. At this point, I might as well just sail across to Far Harbor and wander into the fog. Just maybe a quick check if anyone here takes it first.
Hey, this is a long shot, but, do you accept this charge card?
Huh? Oh yeah, that thing. Sure do. It'll be easier if I just cash you out. Looks like, what, 100 caps? Here you go.
Yep, for some reason, Brooks accepts charge cards. More than that, he's buying them. Either this guy is just as dumb as us, or he's banking on the fact that charge cards do start taking off. After all, they do kind of make sense, and bottle caps are a heavy, non-stackable form of currency. A cap weighs about 2 grams, so 1,000 of them is going to be 2 kilos, so maybe Brooks is thinking charge cards could go the way of Bitcoin. Even still, we're now down just 10 caps overall, which I think was worth it for those funny interactions. We can also find more charge cards randomly in the game. There's one in a dumpster as we cross the bridge towards Fort Strong, but sadly this doesn't mean we can also sell them to Brooks too. He only buys one, far as I can tell. If siding with the railroad to reach the game's ending, our penultimate main quest will be Rocket's Red Glare, where, after successfully assaulting Cambridge Police Station, we board the vertibird called Claymore and fly up to the Prydwen, fighting our way through the entire base to plant 3 charges, then fighting out again to make our ridiculously daring escape. But if you want to achieve this a little more realistically and have decent charisma, then all you have to do is don a Brotherhood of Steel uniform. On the way over, Deacon implies this won't work if we've already been a member of the Brotherhood, but it's actually fine. Upon landing and going inside, nobody will be hostile, but we will have to dupe 4 different Brotherhood NPCs, starting with the scribe on the command deck. There's a bunch of ways we can play this, including giving some actual half-truths.
The railroad launched some half-assed counterattack.
What? The railroad? They attacked the police station.
They mounted some sort of last-ditch assault. I think the railroad's gone.
That's a relief.
There's also Proctor Quinlan on the main deck, wanting technical documents, as always.
Those technical documents may be exactly what we need to repair Liberty Prime. So you understand the urgency.
Halen didn't give us anything. Not our fault.
That's so unlike her. I'll just have to ask Kells to send another vertibird then.
You do that, Quinlan. Better make it quick, though.
Wait, why isn't Knight Owens handling this debrief?
Knight Owens was delayed. I took the initiative, sir.
We need more of that. Initiative.
Then finally, up where we need to plant the bombs, one final set of lies to a senior scribe.
We shouldn't be up here. Just making a routine inspection. You know the drill.
An inspection? Nobody told me about an inspection.
Someone's up for a promotion. Just need to see if everything's shipshape.
Seriously? Well, it's about time. You won't find a single thing out of order. Please, look for yourself.
Well, now I just feel straight up bad. We also don't come across Elder Maxon doing it this way, so we can't loot any of his gear, and fun as this infiltration method is, not even giving the Brotherhood a fighting chance also feels kind of evil. I mean, there's cats aboard the Prydwen, and also children.
I can't believe how lucky I am to be serving on the Prydwen. Everyone back home is so jealous.
Yeah, this is another reason I tend to choose the Minutemen ending. Anyway, with the bombs planted right under the Brotherhood's nose, we can then make a very quiet and undramatic escape.
We seriously didn't raise an alarm? Tom, just to be safe, step on it.
Hey, I'm trying!
I can't believe we're actually getting away with this.
Yeah, I got it.
Whoa, that's a hell of a thing. Rest easy.
So, a fun way to spice up this questline next time you play it, and nice to see the brief return of uniforms working as disguises, like they do in New Vegas. However, I did also try this for the Institute ending, where we have to get inside the Brotherhood base, and it didn't work to quite the same effect at all. Remember how at the start of the video we skipped Sanctuary and Concord entirely, running straight to Vault 114? Well, for the last 2 entries on this list, I decided to see what would happen if we completed the entire main questline before meeting the Minutemen. Instead, joining the Railroad to help us teleport inside the Institute, reuniting with Sean before switching over to the Institute side, assisting them in wiping out the Railroad and Brotherhood, finally losing Sean all over again, where he dies just after his father helps him to achieve his dream. With all that development having happened in this timeline, I finally then made it over to Concord, where the Minutemen were still held up by raiders. Now, usually they'd direct us up to the roof to jump into the rusted set of T-45, but this far into a playthrough, I already had both power armor and a minigun.
I had a whole fancy plan about fixing up a suit of power armor. And here you are, walking in like some kind of metal miracle. There's a crashed vertibird up on the roof. Old school, pre-war. You might have seen it. Well, it's got a minigun, and it seems to be intact. Wearing that armor, you could rip it right off. Then those raiders get an express ticket to hell. You dig?
Actually, I got a minigun right here. We're set.
Well, alright.
Defeating the Deathclaw outside, Preston and gang will proceed onto Sanctuary as usual, where again, we'll be able to now unlock some rare dialogue.
You say you were frozen. Anybody else make it out with you?
I woke up at one point. The Institute killed my wife and kidnapped my son. I did finally find him, though.
Damn. You've been through a lot since you woke up. At least you found him, though. Anyway, I am glad you're here. And I hope you don't mind, but I've got another favor to ask. I've had word from a settlement asking for help.
Oof, that timing though. Of course, no matter what's happened, no matter what we do, there'll always be another settlement needing help. Just mark it down on the map, Preston, and go do whatever it is you do. We can't elaborate much further than this here, unfortunately, so it's more of a tiny nod that Bethesda made sure to include on the off chance you played in this order, but cool that it exists nonetheless. In addition to Preston, it's also possible not to run into Codsworth until after finishing the game. Usually, he'd be the first robotic face we'd set eyes on after the vaults, but a few interesting things can happen if he's one of the last. First of all, rocking up to him in power armor, he'll comment on that before then asking an unfortunate question.
And I see you've taken up a new look. I take it the missus approves. Where is the wife, by the way?
And in addition to telling Codsworth of Nate or Nora's death here, what we say about Sean will of course also be different.
And young Sean? What of your son?
Have you heard of the Institute?
Can't say I have. News is a bit hard to come by these days. What with the lack of luncheons and no more GNN. Is that where young Sean is? Don't tell me you had the lad committed.
Sean's all grown up now.
Sir, this news, I never imagined our reunion to be quite like this.
Now, that's what Codsworth says if we found Sean before we meet him, but if Sean has died, or more accurately actually the Institute has been destroyed at this point, the dialogue will change yet again.
He's with his mother.
Sir, this news...
Just a side note, this line about being with his mother I think is more contingent on the Institute itself being destroyed rather than Sean actually being killed. After trying it with both completing the Institute ending and just straight up shooting Sean, I'd still got the Sean has grown up line. Though it's still cool that these multiple responses do exist, even if they don't always trigger quite properly. Again, like with Preston, we can't elaborate too much, and honestly it took way more effort to get these tiny lines than they were really worth. I literally replayed the entire main quest just to test these two out, so hopefully you found them interesting. But comment below any other hidden or obscure choices you know of in Fallout 4, and if you want to see some entire hidden quests, then check out this video next. Massive thank you as always to the patrons and channel members for supporting more content like this. Cheers for watching, I'm Sam Bram, and I'll see you in the next one.